Hi, we're Courtney and James, and for the last 4 months, we've been living full-time in our bright orange self-converted Sprinter van. Back in January, we decided to make a change. I, Courtney, quit my job and went freelance.
And I, James, arranged to work part-time for my agency back in the UK. We now work remotely from the road 3 days a week, whilst travelling around Europe and meeting like-minded people along the way. We hope to bring you the trials and tribulations of van life, the highs, the lows, and everything in between.
Hi! So we are heading off of our little hilly spot now. We have been here since Saturday afternoon, about 4 o'clock-ish we got here. It's now Thursday morning, and we are pretty much out of water. Our little dial says we're on 1 yellow, so that's a quarter of a tank or less. So we have found a Repsol garage about an hour's drive from here, back down out of the hills and into a local town that has a free air with water drop off and a tap and toilet facilities and stuff. So we're going to head there, and then we're also going to pop into the town where there's a Mercadona. So we have a few days worth of food, probably to last us till about Sunday maybe, but whilst we're going to be in the town, I'm going to go into the supermarket and pick up an extra few days worth of stuff so that we've got enough to last us until this time next week. You're only allowed one person in the supermarket out of like one group at a time, we believe, so I think I'm probably going to have to go in whilst James waits in the van. But yeah, we're a little bit nervous. Well, I'm a little bit nervous to go down back into civilization because, you know, there's police on the streets, and on the news it says that they can stop you if they want to. They can fine you on the spot if they think that you're out unnecessarily. Obviously, we need to get water and we need to get food, so we should be fine, but it's just still a little bit nerve-wracking. But yeah, fingers crossed we'll be okay. It has also been pretty cloudy and pretty miserable for the last 3 days whilst we've been up here. I don't know if it's because we're up high in the hills or what, but the sun is just trying to make an appearance today. So hopefully as we get a little bit further down, nearer to the sea, it'll get even warmer.
So we just parked up at
Aldi. I'm gonna go inside with all the germy people.
There's only one person per.
Well, we don't know. We've read that somewhere, but I don't know if that is actually true. We've seen people walking around in pairs, so I don't know. But just to be safe,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go on my own. I'm not gonna touch anything that I don't need to touch. Yeah. Do you think I should take spray and spray the handle of the
You could take those wipes.
anti-bac wipes, and I'll wipe it before I use the trolley.
Okay. Good luck.
Wish me luck.
Here she comes. Hello.
I got everything.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's like really full in there. Like everything is stocked, and I got extra. So I got like extra tofu. I got some like guac that we wouldn't usually get because obviously we're not going to be going out for food. So I thought it might be nice to have a couple of things that we don't usually buy. I got like 2 bottles of wine, some tonic,
Beers?
beers,
What
loads of veg,
Twixes?
chocolate,
Nice.
stuff like that. So.
Was it busy?
No, not really. Like 20 customers probably moseying around, but it was fine. Just put gloves on when you go in. I wiped all this down with antibac before I used it. So yeah, it was fine, and the shelves are like fully stocked. So.
Cool. Hi, Court.
Hi.
Want to tell everyone what we've just been up to?
Okay, so after we went to the food shop, we found a Repsol garage, like a petrol station that had an air for camper vans, so free water, free toilet, empty place, free grey water, empty. So we did all of that, and then we went to try and find a laundrette in the hope that the self-service laundrettes would still be open, but it was not. The shutters were down, which means we have about 5 days worth of pants left. So we're probably going to have to do a bit of hand washing, I think, or if we decide to move on within those 5 days, move and go to like the self-service laundries that are at either petrol stations or supermarkets where they've just got them outside and you kind of just do it yourself. So hopefully those would still be working because they're not actually proper shops. But yeah, now we're at this little remote beach spot, which is lovely. We've just had a bit of lunch, got ourselves a little glass of wine.
It's quite a hard track to drive down, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was not an easy track to drive down. There were a few other campers kind of as you first come in, like all parked next to one another, but we kind of wanted to be away from everyone. So we followed the track down, it was a bit bumpy, and then we drove round this turning circle about 5 times, going backwards and forwards, trying to find the flattest spot that we could. We've got the trucks in just to try and level us out a bit, but I think we've found a good spot. Felt like we could stay here for a good few days, and we've got enough supplies now to be able to do so. And the sea is just there, so technically we could, even though the beaches are shut, we should be able to still wash in the sea, because I can't imagine any police coming and patrolling down here. I can't see it happening, so hopefully we'll be okay.
Cheers to that.
Cheers! It's Friday morning and had a bit of breakfast, and now we're just going to go for a bit of a wander, get some fresh air. Hopefully we don't bump into anyone, because technically you're not allowed to be on the beach, and technically you're not allowed to go out for a walk unless you've got a dog. But yeah, I'm hoping we're in a remote enough spot that we can just walk along this Shingle Beach and not really see anyone.
Like it here.
Yeah?
There's nobody here, and it's probably the flattest and most sheltered cove that we've seen, so I think we might move. What do you think?
I think we should move.
I know you're not meant to be on beaches, but I think that's to stop the spread of the virus, and since there's nobody here, I don't see a problem with it.
So James seems to think he's found a tap down on this beach. He's seen a water pipe running, and there's a sign over there that says in the summer there's like showers and like a toilet block and stuff, which isn't here now. James like, if there's a shower block and a toilet block in the summer, there must be running water. And we've just found,
What do you think?
I mean, it's a foot shower, so I don't think it's drinking water.
No!
No! Water's turned off. How gutted are you?
Really gutted.
We are moving on from this little beach spot, as nice and secluded as it is. After our walk, we checked the weather forecast. We were thinking of moving to that bigger car park down the road there, but it's like a main beach when you look on actual Google Maps, so we don't know if the police are actually going to patrol there, and obviously we don't want that and then have to get moved on. And then on the weather forecast it says that it's going to rain and thunderstorm over the weekend, and we are down a bit of a gravel dirt path here, and it was kind of bumpy and challenging to get down in the first place, so we don't want to then get stuck if it gets rainy and a bit slidey. So
it's got really big like rivets where obviously there's been a lot of water and it's washed away a load of the road, so if it does more of that, then there's no way we're getting back up the hill.
So we are going to move on and head to a reservoir, which is about 2 hours away, inland and east. No, west. So we're still heading south from where we were a couple of days ago, which is where we want to be getting over the next couple of months. But yeah, hopefully the reservoir spot will be okay. We'll see.
Found the laundrette, it's open!
Yay!
Yeah, I'll do it again.
Pile it in.
How was getting the tokens, Courtney?
It was challenging because they didn't speak a word of English, obviously. But yeah, there's different options for what tokens you need for different size machines. I had no idea what number they were saying or how much we needed. So it was interesting, to say the least.
You are a radar detector. I drive 1,000 miles around my home.
So was that successful?
I mean, it's a successful place and it's beautiful, but not in the fact that we can't stay because there are thousands of flies, even when it's not even next to the water's edge, which is really disappointing.
Really annoying.
We've driven like 2 hours to get here, but I guess we'll go in, just find somewhere a little bit further away from the water, which is again annoying because we want it to be near water, but
Yeah.
what can you do?
Yeah, so we drove, it might have been a little bit longer than 2 hours actually to come to this reservoir, thinking, okay, let's get away from the coast where it's harder to find decent parking spaces that are away from everyone, and obviously all the beaches are actually shut, so parking on known beaches or beaches that are going to be patrolled is a no-no if we want to actually go for a walk on the beach or do anything. So we thought, let's go and find a reservoir or a lake or something that allows swimming. So we found this, obviously not meant to be because the flies are horrific. And even though we've got fly nets on the doors, like the little flies still manage to get their way through, so we end up having like loads of flies in the van still, which is just awful. And we spent half of the night trying to kill them all, so yeah. Well, just as we turned the corner, we found this little spot here. Don't know if you can see the water in the background. There's a few flies still, but nowhere near as many as there were down there. So I think we're going to stay here tonight because it's going to get dark in about 20 minutes probably. So we're going to stay here tonight, keep the door shut, keep the flies out, and then plan of action for where we want to be tomorrow and move on again. This finding a spot situation's not going well.
Of course, it could
We
be
need
worse,
just
though.
an ideal lockdown.
It could be a lot worse,
I know.
let's be honest.
So we are in a new spot. We moved from that reservoir quite late last night, about was it like 9:10 or something, 9:15. It got so windy and the van was rocking from side to side. The bikes were like clattering on the top, and every time they made a noise I like freaked out thinking someone was outside. So we moved to a little town, Zajur I think it was called, which was like 10 minutes down the road, and we just stayed in like a little truck stop there, slept, and then at about 8 this morning we got up and left there and drove just over 2 hours back to the coast. So we're now in or near Cabo de Gata, which is near Almeria, and it's lovely, although the weather is awful. It's raining, but we're right on the like a little outcropping here, a little flat spot surrounded by, it's like a lighthouse just over there, and it's meant to be rubbish weather for the next like couple of days, 3-4 days maybe. So we're just gonna probably hold up here because we know that there's caravan services nearby, there's supermarkets that are open that we've driven past, and as long as we don't get moved on by like the local guards,
Should be good.
we should be good. So fingers crossed that doesn't happen and the guards are also taking some time off. We moved again. I think that's like the 5th spot that we've moved from to in the last 24 hours, do you think, James? 36 hours maybe? We've moved a number of times anyway, because it's either too windy, too exposed. There's no services nearby that are open. There's, what else have we encountered? There's no service, so there's no internet, so for when we need to work in a couple of days' time. It's just, or the road's too bumpy to get down, and it's meant to rain for 3 days, so we don't want to be down a bumpy sandy road and then get stuck. And yeah, it's been kind of frustrating. And now we're in this other beach spot, which is like a proper car park in a bit more of a tourist town, still near Cabo de Gata, but it's kind of on the outskirts. This is like a big car park basically, but there's no one else here apart from us and one other camper van, and we're parked down in a corner, and the wind is like ridiculous. The van's rocking, the bikes are clanging on the top just like they were last night when we were up at that reservoir. It's 8:15 and I already just want to go to bed, just to try and fall asleep and forget about the weather. I don't know how long we're going to stay here. We told ourselves we were going to stay for at least a few days, but... And on that miserable note, we're going to leave this vlog here. Sorry that the footage has been a tad patchy because we're moving around a lot, but we wanted to show the reality of our first week in Spanish lockdown. Tune in next week when we've got some exciting news to share.